Mercedes F1 season is already a disaster. Mercedes tried to make a greater comeback in Bahrain after their disastrous campaign in 2022. But they seem to be not on the right path again, as their 2023 challenger is not performing well as the Brackley-based squad expected. When analyzing the lap times and the overall result of the first race weekend of the season, Mercedes can be ranked as the fourth fastest team on the grid, behind Red Bull, Ferrari, and Aston Martin. They are already behind Red Bull, Aston Martin, and Ferrari in terms of pace, and it will be difficult to give a better fight to these three teams if they didn't make a quick improvement within the next 2 or 3 races. The most heartbreaking thing for Mercedes fans was the Brackley-based squad's extreme decision to stay with their radical philosophy of zeropod for this year as well. Even though it was not the real reason behind the aerodynamic issues like porpoising experienced by Mercedes in last year, everyone thought that it was an awkward decision to find success with this zeropod, which was rejected by all the other 9 teams. Toto Wolff promised for a surprise ahead of the 2023 season, talking confidently about the performance of W14. But after the first race of the season, everyone has a problematic impression regarding the W14 than a surprise, as it is not performing up to the expected level. Will it be another disastrous campaign for Mercedes? Through this video, we are going to answer your question. Before we proceed, hit the subscribe button and smash the bell icon for more exciting updates. What are the major changes they have brought for W14 compared to its predecessors? Even though they continued the zeropod design, it is not drastically closed or short like in W13, and tried to make some kind of difference. They have extended the short side pods towards the rear side of the car, merging the concepts of both Red Bull and Ferrari. So the air that flew over the side pods will act differently this year, creating more downforce. When all the other 9 teams went for a design with wide side pods, Mercedes is still trying to make something different with this failed zeropod, despite the success achieved by other top teams like Red Bull or Ferrari. Even though everyone suspects that the zeropod is the curse behind the continuous failure of the Mercedes, the floor design of W13 was the real reason behind most of the aerodynamic issues like porpoising experienced in last year. Even with zeropod, they achieved success in the latter part of the 2022 season. Most probably, they appeared to have found something unique with zeropod, and that may be why they are still trying hard with them. However, it was somewhat successful in last season. They cannot replicate the same success as rival teams come with much improved body design for the new season. When talking about the front body design of the W14, it has many similarities to the previous year's Mercedes Challenger. In the 2023 car, they have used the same elongated nose that was used in the previous year, extending to the maximum permitted limit. It shows a considerable difference with Red Bull and Ferrari, which have opted for somewhat shorter noses. However, the front wing area of the car has experienced a considerable evolution compared to its predecessor. In this year, it is composed of a design with a more upwashed flap at the center. It has a more rectangular shape throughout the wing body. The most interesting upgrade has been introduced to the front suspension system, which is redesigned with wishbones. However, the overall pushrod layout still remains within the car. With this new suspension layout, the steering column of the car has been aligned with the lower suspension triangle. But the rear suspension of the car still remains as the same without any major upgrade, and the only difference in this year is improved airflow over the diffuser. The rear wing of the car is almost identical to the one that was used last year, which is composed of similar end plates and elongated ears. Mercedes seems to be overconfident about their zeropod design with the statements made by the technical officer, Mark Elliott. He was the person who oversaw the development process of the whole W14. If we look at where we were last year, we have definitely made some steps forward. We knew it was going to be a challenging winter and that we would have to work hard. It has been amazing to see the efforts from the 2 locations and the number of hours and ideas for us to arrive at the design that we have before us, said Elliott. But now he is under huge pressure after the public criticism made by Hamilton regarding W14. Last year, I told them the issues that are with the car, he said. I've driven so many cars in my life, so I know what a car needs, I know what a car doesn't need. And I think it's really about accountability. It's about owning up and saying, yeah, you know what? We didn't listen to you. It's not where it needs to be, and we've got to work. Lewis Hamilton seems to be unhappy with the whole development process behind W14, as the engineering team didn't listen to the feedback that he had given related to W13. I wouldn't say I'm concerned. There's not much I can say. I don't want to say too much, he said. We need to keep working hard. We know we're not where we should be, and we know this car isn't right. It's a complex situation, but I need to stay optimistic. I have to keep my spirits up and motivate my teammates and secure the best possible points in every race, Hamilton added further. Overall, W14 doesn't make any considerable visual difference to W13. As an experienced team in F1, it is still a big question. Why are Mercedes not trying a wide side pod body design? Last year, they compared the lap times of preseason testing in Barcelona, where they used wide side pods, with the lap times of the race weekend they used zeropod, and came to a conclusion that zeropod is the best fit for them than the wide side pod. However, all the top teams like Red Bull and Ferrari enjoyed greater success by using the wide side pods. One key feature that can be observed in the majority of the 2023 cars is their close similarities to the Red Bull design. It was proved to be successful over the last season, and that's why most of the teams have followed the philosophy behind the Red Bull Challenger. The team that is enjoying the greatest success by following the Red Bull philosophy is Aston Martin, which broke into the podiums in a surprising way. Actually, most sensitive data related to the Red Bull design was transferred to Aston Martin with the joining of former Red Bull aerodynamics head Dan Fallow as the new technical director of the Aston Martin F1 team. After the race in Bahrain, Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko also commented that it was nice to see 3 Red Bulls on the podium as a criticism against the close similarities of AMR23 to RB19. Mercedes was never slower than their customer team in recent history, but this time they are considerably slower than Aston Martin. Both W14 and AMR23 are powered by similar type of Mercedes power units, and then the only difference is in the aerodynamic department of the car. That means Red Bull Replicate in the Aston Martin is more successful than Mercedes' radical zeropod design. After the disappointing pace experienced in Bahrain and Hamilton's public criticism, Toto Wolff hinted that Mercedes might be forced to change their car concept. Media has reported that the Mercedes administration has called an immediate meeting to talk about their plans to make an improvement within the next few rounds. Mercedes already has confirmed that there will be visible changes for W14 in near future. So, will that be the end of zeropod philosophy of Mercedes? But the question is still open whether it is possible to bring a wide side pod design to W14 without proper testing. They have already wasted the preseason testing, and if they are going to add side pods, they will have to go for an entirely new body design, as all the other body parts have to be changed in a way that fits to give the optimum aerodynamic performance. This is surely going to be a riskier decision, as there is a big possibility of failing it, even making a worse outcome than zeropod. What do you think about Mercedes' decision to attach with zeropod even after the failure that they experienced in last year? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel to get more exciting Formula One news. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.